What's up, everyone? Disney's newest live-action movie, Jungle Cruise, just released in theaters and on Disney+, so let's review it. Real quick, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below telling me what you thought of Jungle Cruise if you've seen it. And it's going to be a spoiler-free review for the movie, so you're free to watch it if you haven't seen the movie yet. So this movie is apparently based off a Disney ride. I wouldn't know because I've never been to Disneyland, but it's based off like a ride at Disneyland or something like that, and it stars Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt in the lead roles, as they're essentially, Emily Blunt's character is essentially, she's trying to find this like tree that like gives life or something like that, and she goes on essentially a jungle cruise with Dwayne Johnson as her kind of guide down a river, and that's pretty much the plot of the movie, as it's pretty much an adventure movie, you know, searching for a treasure, searching for something that's kind of hidden, as you know, other people are also searching for it. That's pretty much the plot of the movie. It's fairly simple. If you've seen an adventure movie before, you know that kind of stuff. And so overall, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I was pretty pleasantly surprised by this movie. I wasn't really excited for it going into it. I thought it was just going to be another generic blockbuster Disney movie that, you know, nobody talks about in 6 months. But I actually had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a very fun movie. It's not perfect, but I thought it was good enough for me. I will say I wish it was a little less blockbuster feel. It definitely felt very Disney and felt very kind of just, you know, for kids. I do wish it was more like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, where they're very much for older audiences, and older audiences can't find a lot of value. But nonetheless, I did enjoy this movie. First, Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson are amazing in this movie. I think they have great chemistry together. I think they easily made this movie for me. They're so enjoyable on screen. Both of them in their own right are great actors. But together they just made a great duo in this film, searching for this treasure, and they were very enjoyable, and all the other characters in the movie for me weren't good. There were the only two characters in the movie that I did like, where I thought the villains in this movie were really bad. I'll get to it in my bad when I focus more on that stuff, but I thought the villains were bad, and I just didn't really care about any of the other characters in the movie. But I really liked Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. I thought they did a great job in the lead role here. And this movie is just a very fun summer blockbuster adventure movie. It is what it sounds like. It sounds like an adventure movie, and it is. It's fairly simple. It's fairly generic story. The story's not like amazing. It's not going to blow you away, but it is very enjoyable, and I really had a good time with it. And you know, adventure movies, they're not, we don't see them a lot, but they are very fun when we do see them. And I was really glad just with how much fun I had with this movie. And surprisingly, this movie was actually really funny. A lot of times with these kind of kid movies, I don't find the humor funny. I actually enjoyed the humor in this movie, especially with Dwayne Johnson. He made a lot of funny jokes within the movie. I laughed quite a bit throughout the movie. It had a good sense of humor to it that I really enjoyed. And I also thought James Newton Howard's score in this movie was absolutely phenomenal. Just for whatever reason, the score in this movie was really, really good. It really kept the tempo of the movie going. I don't normally talk about the score in my reviews, but it was really good in this movie, and definitely stood out here. It's just a very good score, surprisingly good score for a, you know, kind of jungle adventure movie from Disney. So it was really good. I really enjoyed that. The plot of this movie was solid. There's lots of twists and turns throughout the film that will really keep you invested in the movie, and for the most part, I cared about what was going on. I was following what was going on. It wasn't hard to follow, and you care about the characters, and you're rooting for them, and you're not rooting for the villains. So that stuff all worked for me, and I really liked the ending of this movie. Not going to spoil anything, but I thought the ending really worked for me, and there's a lot of good emotion within the ending, and it worked. I thought it was a very fitting end to this movie. It was just a very enjoyable ending. So with that said, now moving my attention to the things that I did not like so much about this movie. And for the most part, I am mostly positive on this movie. I do understand it's not a perfect movie. It has some issues. Like I said, the villains in this movie sucked. And the villains in an adventure movie don't even need to be good. They just need to be kind of countering the heroes in this movie, as other people trying to get the treasure. I just don't make them annoying. And the villains in this movie were really annoying. It was I don't remember his name, but the guy who played Todd from Breaking Bad, he played this like German guy trying to get the tree or whatever, and he was just like obnoxious throughout the entire film. Every time he was on screen, I just really got bored. He really sucked the fun out of the movie a lot of times, and he was just extremely annoying. And like I said, I don't think any of the other characters in the movie were particularly good. They go on the adventure with Emily Blunt's brother. I didn't really care for him. He didn't really add much to the movie. And the rest of the other characters, all the very minor characters, didn't really add anything to the movie. It was mainly Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, who I thought were really good. Other than that, I didn't really care about any of the other characters. And then my biggest issue with the movie is going to be that for what the adventure was, and Emily Blunt going on this adventure to try to find this like rose thing, there wasn't enough setup at the beginning for you to actually start caring about this adventure and caring about her cause and, you know, caring about what she's trying to do. You just, at no point do you start really getting invested in the whole point of the movie in her trying to find this tree, you know, and it wasn't very clear on what was happening. There wasn't enough setup at the beginning. I thought that really hurt this movie in a lot of ways, because you didn't really know what was going on from the get-go. Like I said, the movie's easy enough to follow, but like you don't really know what they're trying to achieve. It's like, because I don't really know what it was, like a tree, I think. It wasn't very clear. It was a quick setup at the beginning, and then the movie just goes, and then they really don't talk about it until they get there at the end. And it's like, you know, I wish there was more to it. The movie should be more based around that, like a good adventure movie would be. So that was a pretty big issue in the movie for me, but nonetheless, I really did enjoy this movie. If you're looking for a fun summer blockbuster, I think this is that movie for you. It was very enjoyable. I think audiences will really like this movie. It's not going to be for everyone. If you don't like, you know, Disney blockbuster stuff, it's not going to be for you for sure. I had a lot of fun with it. I love adventure movies. I don't watch a lot of them, but when I do, I really enjoy them. Like the Indiana Jones films, like the Pirates of the Caribbean films. And this movie worked in that regard. I really thought this movie was a success, and I would recommend you go check it out. It was just a lot of fun. I thought it was a lot of fun, and there's a lot of enjoyment in this movie. I just, like, aside from it just being, you know, a kind of a dumb fun movie, I think there was a lot of heart to this movie, and and the writing was pretty clever at times, and it was a pretty well made movie, not just, you know, kind of a clunky blockbuster. It was actually a good movie, I think. Though, once again, it does have some clear issues that kind of held the movie back a little bit for me from getting into that great category. So this movie's just, you know, pretty good, you know, kind of in that middle range. Anyway, so with all that said, I'm going to give Jungle Cruise from 2021 a 3.5 out of 5 stars and a 71%. Don't take my score too seriously on this movie. It's a hard movie to grade because, like I said, most of my grade is based on my entertainment value, and, you know, I enjoyed this movie. On a critical scale, it might fluctuate a little. Anyways, with that said, that's going to do it for my review of Jungle Cruise from 2021. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below to me what you thought of Jungle Cruise. And as always, thank you so much for watching if you stuck around to the end of the video, and have a great day.